Welcome to my class, student. It's class 8, English Honeydew. We are doing chapter 1, the best Christmas present in the world, and this is session 1. In this chapter, you are seeing through the title, it is very obvious that the story is all about the best Christmas present, not only for the person in the world. What can be the best Christmas present, you will come to know in this story. And this story is really very heart touching, and when you will finish this story, you will find that yes, today you have done or you have read one of the nicest stories of this world. So the best Christmas present in the world, let's start. Now the author, Mr. Michael Morpurgo, born on 5 October 1943. He is an English book author, poet, playwright. He is known best for children's novels such as War Horse, 1982, and magical storytelling. His storytelling is really very magical, and you will see in this chapter, in this story also, how he has written this story. So, this is the author. He is there. Let's start the story. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport. A rolled up text. What is rolled up text? Who spotted? Author. I means here author or the narrator who is narrating the story. The narrator spotted. It means it is what? A roll top desk. So, it is a roll top desk. The narrator spotted a roll top desk in a junk shop in Bridport. The man said it was early 19th century. How old it was, and it is made with oak. I had wanted one, but they were far too expensive. This one was in a bad condition because this was in a junk shop. And the rolled up in several pieces. One leg clumsily mended, scorch marks all down one side, and it was going for very little money because defective piece you can buy at a cheap rate. I thought I could restore it. The author knew how to mend the desk, so he bought it because he needed one type of desk like that, and he got it at a junk shop at a cheaper rate, so he thought he could restore it. Now spotted it, saw it, found it. Scratch marks, burn marks. All the burn marks were there on the roll top desk. Was sailing for. Who was sailing that? The owner of the junk shop. Restore, here repair. Roll top desk, see this is a roll top desk. Now clumsily done without care, that one leg was clumsily mended. Someone has mended it earlier, but it was very clumsily mended. And mended is the act of repairing. So, someone earlier it is mended. The one leg of that roll top desk was mended, but it was very clumsily mended. Now, it would be a risk, a challenge, but I had to have it. Now, he was very much in need of roll top desk. So, what the author or the narrator is saying, it could be risky to put money on that defective article or that defective piece, and it is challenging also. He could restore it or could not restore it, but he said, no, I had to do it, I had to buy it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of the garage. I began work on it on Christmas Eve, that is 24th December. I removed the tall top completely and pulled down the drawers. So what did he first do in order to mend the roll top desk? He removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Veneer, that Sanmica portion of that oak made roll top, it has been lifted almost everywhere. It looked like water damage to it. It looked like water damage to it. It seemed that some water had poured on it because it's a burnt article, and in order to douse of the fire, someone had put water on that, and so that veneer has totally lifted from everywhere, so water had damaged it. Now, veneer, a thin layer of plastic or decorative wood on furniture or chipboard, right? See, these are the linear. Now, both fire and water had clearly taken their toll on this desk. That means the desk was tortured by both water and fire. So, extreme fire has burnt it and extreme water had damaged it completely. Veneer is lifted because of water also. The last drawer was stuck fast. I tried all I could to ease it out gently. In the end, I used brute force because it was stuck fast. The last drawer was stuck fast. So gently the narrator couldn't pull it out. So what did he do? He used brute force. I struck it sharply with the side of my face. We generally do this when we are not able to open something. We just apply our force with fist so that it can come out. The same thing happened, and the author or the narrator struck it sharply with the side of his fist, and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath. Yes, you find if you pull a drawer, there is a shallow space so that you can keep your articles there. Underneath, a secret drawer, and there is a secret drawer also. There was something in there. So he spotted something in that roll top desk, in the drawer of that roll top desk. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. What is that small black tin box? So here you are seeing, this is a string of adjectives. What? Small black tin box. What kind of box? The narrator is describing the characteristics of box by using 3 words. That is small, color is black, and the material is tin. So you always remember, when you use string of adjective, there is a sequence of the things and you will have to follow that sequence. When I will do the adjective session with you, I will tell you about the sequence of the thing. Here small is the size, black is the color, and tin is the material. The author struck it sharply with the side of his fist, and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath, a secret drawer. And in that drawer he saw something in there. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. As you know, there is a sequence in adjectives. You will have to follow that sequence, and once I will do the adjective session with you, I will tell you the sequence. Here you are saying small is a size, black is a color, and tin is a material to describe the object, that is box. Now here next what happened? Sellotape to the top of it was a piece of lined note paper. Sellotaped. Something is there at the top of that box with the sellotape. It is stuck there. A piece of lined note paper. Lined note paper, not plain note paper. Lined note paper, and written on it in shaky handwriting. Shaky handwriting you can understand. Firm handwriting and shaky handwriting. When suppose you are sick, so your handwriting, you are very weak. So your handwriting will be shaky, and if someone is very old, so their handwriting is also very shaky. So shaky handwriting. Jim's last letter, received January 25th, 1950. See, on Christmas Eve, the narrator had bought that roll top desk, and the letter that he found in the drawer of that in that secret drawer is also dated, received January 25. So here you are seeing, what is this? To be buried with me when the time comes. That means this letter is so important. The receiver of the letter wants it to be buried with him or her when the time comes. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box. Now he saw that letter, and we all know it's a manners, it's a etiquette. We should not read others' letters. So the author is saying, the narrator is saying, it is known to me, this manner I know well, that I should not read someone's letter. But I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box. Okay, first wrong he has done, he had opened the box. Then he saw the letter, and now he should not read that. But curiosity got the better of my scruples. It usually does. But out of curiosity, what did he do? He opened the letter. And what he is blaming to whom? He is not blaming to himself. He is blaming to his curiosity. It usually does. We always do this. So here the author has bought that desk. Under the desk, in a secret drawer, he found a letter. The letter was received on January 25th, and the letter was so important that the receiver wants it to be buried with him or her. And that letter, the narrator is going to read. Now, scruples, feelings that make you hesitate to do something wrong. Yes, Antaratma ki awaaz, you can say, feelings. What we are doing, it's wrong, but still curiosity, he opened the letter. Inside the box there was an envelope. The address read, Mrs. J. Macpherson, 12 Cooper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. That is after Christmas. So, what did he found? He found the letter, and what was the address? Mrs. J. Macpherson, 12 Cooper Beaches, Bridport. And he bought that roll top desk from Bridport only. That junk shop was at Bridport only. And that means the owner of the letter or the receiver of the letter also lives in Bridport, because the address is that. And one thing, Dorset is the area and Bridport. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. See, this is a roll top desk. This is the hidden drawer. With the force of the fist he opened it. And there this is a black tin box. And here it is written, it would be buried, and inside it he would get that envelope, right? And this is the narrator. Now some grammar part, as you know. Finite verb, spotted. Which are the finite verbs that changes according to the tenses, number and persons. Finite verbs, spotted, said, wanted, mended, thought. The entire story is in past tense, so all the verbs are in past forms. Could, restored, would, paid, brought, began, removed, pulled, had, lifted, looked, taken, tried, used, struck, reached, took, knew. So these are the all finite verbs. They changes their forms. Now non-finite verbs that have been used by the narrator in this chapter, in this session. Mended, to have, to reveal, to open. See, mended is a past participle. So as a clumsily mended, so you cannot say that it is a present tense or past tense, because this is a past participle. So this is non-finite verb. To have, to reveal, to open. With to you are using verb. So infinitive, that is always non-finite. Now adverb is there, clumsily and sharply. So what have we learned today? We have learned in this session story of a narrator. He wanted a roll top desk. He bought it in a junk shop at a very cheap rate, and he thought he could restore that. So while restoring that particular desk, he found a letter. In that letter, it was written on the top. He found first a black tin box. On that in a line note paper it was written that the letter would be buried with me. And when he opened the tin box, he found an envelope. In that a letter was there that was written on January 26. And the receiver of the letter also stayed at Bridport. That means the Bridport is the area, is the location where both the narrator and the receiver of the letter also stay. So let's see what happened in the next session. Go through the session, read it again and again. In the next session, I will continue the story. Thank you.